Hey, in my prior video, I took the Strymon Riverside out for a spin. Took it straight out of the box, plugged it in, got a lot of great tones out of it. So I've lived with the pedal now for about a week, and now I'm coming back to do a deep dive into all of the features. I'm going to start with the noise gate that Strymon included. I didn't use this at all in the prior video, and so clearly it's there to reduce the amount of noise coming from your guitar in between the notes that you play, especially when you're using a heavily distorted sound. If I bring up the volume on the guitar, you'll hear the amount of noise I have with the current settings. That was my bridge humbucker pickup. This is what the neck single coil sounds like. Let's go ahead and dial up a more thrash tone. So that's too much noise, and it's not really the noise of the pedal so much as what's getting into the pickups of your guitar and being amplified by the distortion. So to turn on the noise gate, you hold down the on switch until the lights start blinking, and then you use the drive control to set the amount of noise reduction. Anything before noon on the knob, and the noise gate's off. As you increase that control past noon, the noise gate begins to kick in, and the favorite light goes from green to amber to red, depending on the amount of noise reduction that's occurring. So yeah, I don't want to go too far on that, because what will happen is the notes won't be allowed to sustain out naturally. The noise gate will cut them off too soon. So I'm going to go right around here and that sounds good. To set that level, I just hit the on switch again. And the noise gate can be set independently for whatever sound you store on the favorite switch. I'm going to leave the noise gate set like this for the rest of the demo. Now let's take a look at the bypass modes. Riverside supports true bypass and buffered bypass. By default, it's in true bypass mode, which means when the pedal's off, it's as if there's nothing between the input and the output. That's good for shorter cable runs, something under 20 or 30 feet, or if you have other pedals in your system that have buffers. If you are using longer cables and there are no other buffers in your system, in order to preserve the high-end frequencies, it helps to turn on the buffered bypass mode of the Riverside. There is one other advantage to using buffered bypass in the pedal, and that's if you're going to use the boost function or the volume control function with the pedal off. To enable buffered bypass mode, you hold the on switch down while powering up the pedal. The lights will blink and then go steady. You use the level control, and anything before noon will be true bypass, and anything above noon will be buffered bypass. Once you have it in that mode, just hit the on switch again, and you're set. As with many Strymon pedals, you have the ability to store a favorite preset. Here's one I like, using the low gain structure and a bit of drive with the mids boosted. To store that as my favorite sound, I just need to hold down the favorite button for a couple seconds. Now I'm free to set the pedal in some other way. I want the favorite, I just recall it. One terrific thing that Strymon's added to this pedal is when you recall your favorite, you may want to know where the knobs are supposed to be for the favorite. And to do that, all you have to do is start twisting the knobs, and when you hit the spot where the favorite's been stored for that knob, it turns green. So I can quickly just get right back into the position on the knobs where my favorite previously was. And that includes the toggle switches as well. The boost input supports hooking up a latching pedal to access up to a 6 dB boost. Strymon makes an extra pedal to support that feature, which I have here. However, I have mine configured to control the tap function on a Flint, and so instead of reconfiguring that, I'm using a third-party pedal by Audio Juice. To set the level of the audio boost, hold down the on button until the lights blink, and then use the level knob to set a 0 to 6 dB boost. 3 dBs in the center, and that's the default. We can crank it up to 6 dB. And no boost at all. Press on button again to store. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, because we're in buffered bypass mode, we can still use the clean boost even with the pedal off. Hooking the same pedal up to the expression input allows you to recall a favorite remotely. By default, the expression input is set for volume control, which I discovered something interesting in that if you leave it set for volume control and you hook up one of these switches, you can use this switch as a mute. To set up the switch as a remote favorite, you have to hold down the favorite button during power up to access the expression mode. Once you do that, you use the level control. By default, you can see there it's in amber mode, which is volume. To the left would be expression pedal mode, which we'll get into later, and to the right would be remote favorite. Press the on button to store that. Dial up a different sound on the pedal. Using the same procedure I just showed you for setting the expression mode, I've put it back to volume control, and I've hooked up this mini expression pedal. And because we're in buffered bypass mode, you can turn the pedal off and still use the volume control. Now I've set it up for expression mode, and what that allows you to do is control any of the knobs with the expression pedal. You can control a single knob or you can control multiple knobs at once. To set that up, hold down both the favorite and the on switch until the lights blink. Then move the expression pedal back and forward, put it in the heel position, and with the favorite light blinking, set the dials on the pedal for the sound you want when the pedal's in the heel position. That sounds good. Now push the pedal forward to the toe position, the on light will start blinking, and then adjust the knobs for the sound you want there. Press the on button to store those settings. And now you should be able to morph between the two sounds with the expression pedal. You can use the expression pedal to find a new setting that exists between those two sounds. Another cool aspect that Strymon thought of here is when you recall a favorite setting, it doesn't matter what position the expression pedal's in, it'll still recall the favorite the way you have that stored. Now with the favorite setting on, if you do move the expression pedal, it will change the knobs the way you have it configured. Whenever you turn the favorite setting off, the sound will conform to the setting of the expression pedal. I think the value of that's apparent because from one distortion pedal you have three sounds. You have the one you stored on your favorite, you have the one set by the configuration of the controls, and then you have the control changes with the expression pedal. And then you even go a little bit further than that because you have all of the in-between states you can recall with the expression pedal. The favorite out is a new feature on the Riverside that's a first for any Strymon pedal. It allows you to simultaneously recall the favorite on the Riverside while also recalling a favorite on another Strymon pedal that supports an external favorite input. To enable favorite out, you power the Riverside while holding down the favorite button. On the drive control, anything prior to noon is the standard boost function, and anything above noon is the favorite out feature. Press on to store that. Now I'll set up Riverside for a clean sound that just has a little bit of dirt on it. And I'll put a little tremolo on the flint, and there's a long reverb. The flint has a favorite stored, which is just a short room reverb. And when I hit the favorite on Riverside, it enables the favorite on the flint. The Riverside also goes to a kind of a medium distortion tone.